Sacrifice is always required on the road to your dream. The question is, what are you willing to sacrifice? I heard a story that was powerful, a story of a Chero who was leading his men into war. As they got into the fleet of boat, they were going to take an island. As they reached the island, the men got off the boat, and the Chero gathered his men before they went into battle. He looked at them and he gave them 3 words: burn the boat. Now, this is powerful because he's telling them there's no retreat, absolutely no retreat. And option A is the only option. Option B is impossible, and he's into his men and the mindset of courage and clarity of conviction allow them to understand that this is the energy that you need to go and win this battle. Reason why the story is so powerful because each and every one of us, we are going to battle of life, whatever it is that we are trying to accomplish. This mindset is necessary. Like your dream gathers when you're going after goal, when you're going after your action, when you're going after something, may feel different to you. It might be bigger than the shoes that you feel right now. We're telling you that generals were telling men and need to mindset to be ready for the world that we have in front of us. And at one time, many of us step into new arenas with doubt. We cloud with doubt and we wonder why it's so difficult for us to grow into the version of the best version of ourselves. If you don't have what you want, stop telling yourself a story because you don't have the money, you don't have to discuss how much yourself. You burn your boat. If you want to take an island, burn your boat and you will take that island. Because know when you're going to die, you succeed, tend to succeed. And Chero sustained his men and he understood that he needed to literally light a fire within them. He needed to literally something within them, let them know that he was going to lead them to victory and nothing else. And oftentimes, for many of us, that's a difficult mindset to get into. If it is called to step into a new arena, it needs to get a new environment and have the courage, the confidence, the conviction, and the clarity to know that's yours for the taking. Sometimes it will be time, sometimes it will be effort, sometimes it will require effort, sometimes it will require you to put yourself in environments where you have to go growth. Sometimes it requires you to make a new shift and put yourself in environment you're not aware of. You're going to make the necessary sacrifice become a video that you need to better to go after that dream. Sometimes as you I will step into the new arena. I'm going to the best version of ourselves. Have we burnt our boat? I've come a long way, but I have a long way to go. I'm a journey where I've come a long way, but I still have a vision that I have to reach for. I'm really on your journey. I realize that there are few things that are absolutely imperative to keep in mind. Number 1, you can't do it alone. Nothing you after that can be really done alone. You have to understand who is on your team, who is part of your team, how are you contributing in adding the value of lives, and how you can be adding the value to yours. Who you sacrificing for? Because if they're not there, I promise that reward will feel so empty. Number 2 is what sacrifice are you going to take? Dreams require sacrifice, oftentimes require time spent alone. Time spent doing something that you never thought. Even before my first TEDx talk, I used to walk in the park myself and give talks. All over again, imagine that the crowd, people like who I want to do on the stage. This year, before I ever started speaking, and while I'm not saying I'm following a journey now, I understand they don't wish to sacrifice that needs to be met as you go on your journey. My question for you right now is, are you your journey? What sacrifice are you currently making? Where you going and what are the things you are saying, and you're not if I cut it out and I cut this out and add this in and add this in. The flip side, but I cut this habit. Have you grown into the person that's supposed to go home? What are those things for you? Have you identified those? And last but not least, what's the legacy that you're trying to leave behind? This word legacy is interesting because oftentimes it is spoken by those who are 50, 60, 70. Life society has put it in a situation where we only supposed to doing about legacy at the end of our life. I think legacy is something that you do it every single day. How you work in your legacy, meaning what are you leaving behind? What impression are you leaving on other people who are around you? How you moving, operating in a way that someone understand that you stand for and who you are now? What is your legacy? You're working in it. It's not something that you build at the end of your life. It's something you're doing right now. We're on a journey of becoming, so never be scared of answering the question and tackling the question and grappling with the question, the frustrating question, the question you may not have an answer right now. Are you on the right path? I understand that's only a path you will take. Because if you operate with the type of mindset, victory is yours.